So you guys knew each other from school days, yeah?
We didn't go to school together, but Mason, it's just same area, like small, tiny town. Don't even know how many people in there, maybe like 100,000, 200,000. So you just know everyone, really.
Yeah. Whereabouts?
Wellingham City.
Where's that?
It's in Hertfordshire, just outside North London.
I see. Are you Gooners?
Nah. United. The family Jews, like you don't even get, you're born and a scarf's get put on you. So.
Yeah. So you guys have known each other for like how long?
Since we probably first met when we was like 12, because we just used to get up to fuckeries, like just the same little group of people that just do whatever. And then probably really became friends maybe like 3-4 years ago, like full on, just because Mason was doing his trading, I was doing some other shit, and there's no one else that is into business, so it's like I just left with this cunt, really. There's no one else in it.
I spoke to I saw your tweet about like if you haven't lost 300 quid in the markets, then you haven't tried to be an entrepreneur. We said that on the last podcast with Ellis, because I just thought that is like, I remember this time last year signing up for Switzy.
Yeah,
I remember being like,
is it like the HS person?
Yeah, and I remember being like, 300 quid, yeah, cool. And I remember like after football, I put this trade on when I was at football, didn't know anything about lot size. I came back and it was like 40 quid in profit, and I was like,
yeah, you think that's the turning point of life there.
I woke up in the morning, I was like, right, this is only going to go up. So I turned my stop loss off. I woke up in the morning and I was like, where's the money gone?
Yeah,
and then I just didn't really touch it since, but I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
So you were doing trading.
Yeah.
How did you find it?
It's tough.
Yeah.
And I actually didn't make any money from it. Like, it's super hard industry to be in and even like thrive and do well. And it takes so much time, attention, energy to actually get it right. Like when they say like 1% make it, it's actually true.
Yeah.
So many people try it. Like most entrepreneurs have dabbled in it at some point as well, or like even just tried it to, because it looks cool as well, like people have the charts and shit, and when the ads come in on Instagram, the guys on the beach with the charts,
Thailand. Yeah, you're right. So were you actually trying to learn yourself?
Yeah.
Or were you copying signals?
Like, so everyone starts off with signals, the £300 you put it in, and then it sparks the interest for it, and like you read a bit more into it. So I was actually like trying to do it after that, taking it back and doing a bit more learning.
Did you try to get like a funded and that, or was it just?
Yeah. Got close a couple of times, but then it just falls through, and like you get close, and then for training you just got to be super disciplined, to another level, like with your routines and all that kind of thing. And we're still kind of like say young in the hometown, so we'd get up to a few things and fall off sometimes. So
So obviously you boys are smashing it now with the OFM. But what was the plan before that? Was it always like try different business ventures until something works, or like, what were you boys thinking beforehand?
I'll let you take it.
So I was probably like 2 years ago, I tried a vending machine company, a clothing line, done a bit of like just social media management, managing like Instagram accounts. I think that's it. And then obviously all of that flopped, and I just decided to do this. I said to Mason, because Mason was still trading like same amount of time, like 2 years in the game. Both hadn't made it work yet. And I thought it's a good opportunity. We might as well both just go all in, team up, run it up. And then like literally like 1 month later, I quit my job, but I wasn't even making any cash then. So like, I was just like, I'm literally at Waitrose 8 hours a day, stacking a shelf. Like I could be sending 8 hours worth of DMs every day. So I just get so much more progress made. So I just done it. And like a couple months later, by the end of the year, I was just sleeping in this guy's shed, just fucking.
We'll actually take it all the way back and like go the story a bit more in depth, because I think it's kind of unique. Because every entrepreneur has their like come up story to the extent of where they built up to even get to here today, right? It's like obviously we did the whole like trying a few things out, putting all of our time, attention, effort into it, and then to actually get on to where we started with the OFM journey, like Tom said, so it was like a year ago plus 1 month, so 13 months ago today or something. Was obviously you get the dream of networks online as well. Obviously this online money space is kind of growing a lot on the back end of COVID and stuff like that. And so Tom actually joined up to one through Twitter. Obviously, and through there was one of the side hustles was OnlyFans like management. And so he's joined it. He's like, what's it called? Getting to know this group, all different side hustles, like networking online with all like these other online guys, right? And then actually went to a meetup where one of our good friends till today met up with him, and he'd started OnlyFans like a month earlier. And in his first month, he'd done like 30k or something revenue. And me and Tom, like, once he got back from that, he just told me like, yeah, listen, we're doubling down on this for now, put everything else to a side.
Yeah, because that's the thing with OnlyFans, it's unlike anything. You can actually start now with $0 and make money in a week or two if you really try. Like with the deadest model that doesn't work, with the shittest chatting team ever, you can still make 2-3K a month, and that's what you get paid at a 9 to 5 anyway.
Yeah.
If you think about it, you can literally have the shittest OnlyFans agency and still make more than you would in your job. So what's the point? So then I was like, all right, might as well just do it. And then obviously you just working with these shit models, doing all the chatting, like doing all the marketing. You're the sales team, the marketing team, the managers. Like you're saying, oh yeah, I'll check up with the sales team. To the models, you're the sales team. Like you're on the chats. Like I'm replying to fucking VIP Liam right now. Like, yeah, it's fucked.
We're gonna have to go into more detail about actually what that actually back end means, because a lot of the times when we speak as well, we speak in like a kind of language which is more slang to our industry and stuff. But
yeah, I was gonna say in terms of like what actually, because people just see with like OFM guys, they just see the flashy lifestyle and everything that you guys are doing, but nobody really knows
the back end,
like
what
you're actually doing behind the scenes.
When we called you last night, it was what, like nearly 9 o'clock, and you were like, oh, Tom can't jump on because he's working, and you were like, I was going to watch the game, but I'm going to do some work. So you guys are obviously working all the time, working hard.
Yeah, so Warzone, like you jump between the war zones. At the start, it's just sending out infinite DMs. That's what I've done. Obviously, you have better strategies now to get your model. Then you get the model, and you're like, oh, shit, I've got a model now, but like, don't have a Scooby what to do. Like, so you just got to try and figure out trial and error, and you're constantly just working under pressure because the girls want results. And then eventually you make it work, and you get a bunch of fans come through the door. How do I sell to this fan now? And then it's just constant messaging, because you have to be online every single hour of the day to message. Literally used to chat like 18 hours a day, would go to bed for like half an hour and just wake up and just carry on. Like last winter, literally was just living in this guy's shed, just chatting. It was just joke.
Sounds cold.
No heater. Like I just had my like Moose Knuckles jacket that I bought like a year before, and I just kept it. Without that jacket, I'd probably be dead right now.
No, we'd actually be dead. Like I say, when we get to a point in the podcast, maybe halfway through, we'll take a break, and I'll show you the actual like where we came from at the start. You'll understand the shed a bit more. It's like,
but
something that struck me about you guys, and you've just said that the person who you were speaking to did 30K in his first month.
Yeah.
The way you can scale it so quick is almost like unbelievable. Like if you were to start a brick and mortar business and you would say, oh, we turned over 30K revenue in our first month, you'd be like, wow, you must have done well. Yeah. So like, what is it about OFM that allows the people who do it to scale it as quickly as you guys did?
I think when you touch on like the points of virality of social media, like how you can get a viral video, but also once you actually like put the skills behind good social media managing, onto like pretty models, for example, or something like this, you can like infinitely scale the eyes on their pages. That just converts into subscribers to their page due to the nature of the climate online with simps, etc. So like with the scalability of OnlyFans, like even for me and Tom, we started out, I think our first month was pretty cold, like outreach and models, just still learning. We all need to learn a little bit preliminary about the game as well first, which is obviously no doubt. So when we get to these stages of actually having a model, like what do we actually do? Like a month in, finally started signing a couple clients, and then obviously he quit his job. I was on the cusp of quitting mine, so like first month maybe was $0, second month $200, and like we started getting the ball rolling a bit and signing some more talent, etc. Like third month maybe $2,000, and then fourth month onwards, that's when things just scaled up like this. We signed a good quality model, like a kind of niche model, and as you know, with anything like there's riches and niches. So from there, things kind of just scaled up like really fast. From there, just went from like next month was like 20 to 50K. Then after that, it was just like 100K months with like certain models, like even one model doing them kind of numbers. Like per month, it's actually like very criminal, criminal the numbers that they could do. And that was like within our first, third or fourth month while we're still learning the game. So our kind of whole thing throughout the whole thing was just like take massive action. Like we was always just failing forward super fast. So every time it was like, oh, we don't know what to do. Okay, well, let's just try it out. We'll just test like 4 or 5 things, boom, boom, boom. By the next day, we already know what works and we're just doing it again.
So you didn't have a mentor or anyone kind of like teaching you or guiding you. It was literally just trial and error. Nice, man. Nice. That is fair play.
Obviously, at the start as well, in terms of like getting the models, it must have been kind of like a new thing for both of you doing like that outreach, DMing models and stuff. How was that for? Like, how did you guys kind of go about that?
I was calm because I used to do a bunch of outreach when I was doing like social media management. So I was like used to just sending voice notes, jumping on like Zoom calls, selling, like talking shit basically. So I just transferred that over to OnlyFans, and obviously you're just talking to girls, like it's just easy as you just get them on.
Yeah. Like I say, for the start, it's like kind of weird when you're telling people to send all these DMs, and sometimes the messages come across kind of seedy, but with the actual back end of why you're doing it, because some of these like OnlyFans girls, you're genuinely on there trying to help them out, because most of the business is on revenue share. So when you're actually partnering them up with a model per se, if she's making 2-3k a month, or even if she's making up to 10 to 15k per month on her own, when she partners with you, you can easily like 5 to 10x results at the snap of your fingers. So it's actually dually beneficial. So you're not even doing it to like, once you break down that barrier, like you're actually on there to help these girls with like positive intention. The kind of worry about it kind of goes away, because
so for people who don't quite know what revenue share is, share is where you guys will split a percentage of all the money that's made. So for you guys to make your money, they also have to make money as well. So
I guess it benefits both parties then as well.
Because I guess that's one of the main kind of, if you take the ethics of OFM, one of the main arguments is that these girls are doing it anyway, and that you guys simply help them make more money. So
they love it, bro, because we're literally, from the second I wake up to the second I go to bed, every single day, I'm online, either communicating with the team or doing work myself to make them more cash. This girl might just do a photo shoot like once every 2 days, chills out, goes restaurant, chills out, goes out, and she's made like more than me. Like, she's loving it. They don't have to do anything. That's like the easiest job in the world, is just to look good on camera. If you're already good looking, like, it's easy as.
For you guys, when you were starting out, did you have any kind of moral qualms, or was it a bit iffy, or were you not sure whether it's something that you wanted to get into? Or
I don't think OnlyFans management's immoral at all. Like, a lot of people say it, but we're literally changing lives, our families' lives, the models' lives, our workers' lives. A lot of our work is like outsourced. These people don't get paid a lot where they're from. We're literally paying them like 3, 4, 5 times what they'd make, like the average salary in their country. So they're living lives, sending us pictures of their kids at school, or their new table for their house that they couldn't afford before, and all this stuff. And on top of that, like, people are going to pay for porn anyway. So like, they're not really taking anything.
Like, that's what I think as well, 'cause the one thing is like, you're taking money from men online, but realistically they get the their goal is fulfilled as well. They're online to speak to this hot girl. That's what they want to do in life, and spend money with her. So you're just help facilitating that transaction in the best way, really. Like, at the end of the day, if he's speaking to this model, maybe he's lonely and a bit depressed at home. You've just put a massive smile on his face. And now he's like happy for like the rest of the week, 'cause he's got to speak to some like 10 out of 10 super hot model online.
Have you had any, I was going to say, in terms of like the ethics behind it, have you had any problems with the people around you, friends, family, disagreeing with what you boys are doing, or has it all been support? And
everything's chill. Like, when I got my first model, I literally just showed my mum. She was just there, just laughing about it.
Super new then. Like I say, like for my family, they don't worry about it, because they're all looked after as well at the same time. I think there's a couple people who are in like an older generation who have this Tate view, etc., because of what they see like propagated online. However, like, when the things are actually broken down a bit more and actually understand what goes on with it, then their sort of views will change. Some people just have that like stuck up, no, some more this and that, but a lot of the time they just lack understanding of how the whole thing works, because it's a very new hustle, or like very new,
definitely. I mean, I hadn't really heard of it until like a year ago. And I heard of it because HS was doing it. That's where I heard of it.
I think that's where it's kind of come up, innit, with all the like hype around Dubai recently. That's kind of where people have started seeing it. I think it's kind of just only coming light to it. I don't think people really understand, I guess, what it actually is.
No.
Definitely.
How have you guys kind of managed the lifestyle change, going from last year working in a supermarket, and I'm guessing it was just Monday to Friday, and then doing whatever you were doing at the weekend, but how have you kind of transitioned into, you guys are both young. I mean, having money at a young age can really affect some people, but for you guys, it seems like you kind of used it to facilitate living a good lifestyle.
Yeah, but everything like adds up. So, for example, like, obviously make a lot of money, but to have a big business, you have to have a lot of employees. So no matter what, when I wake up in the morning, we've got like overhead that we need to like achieve to pay the team. So even though you might make like, we're on track for like 300k this month, like, obviously the money's good, but you still want more. Like, I can't buy a Lambo yet. Do you know what I mean? I can't, I haven't retired my parents yet. Like, there's things I need to get done. There's always someone that's gonna flex on you. There's probably someone that's done like $1 million today.
You know what I mean? That's fair.
So I think the lifestyle change is really like, you kind of adapt with it because it comes, but like fast money sometimes doesn't end up being long money. And so like what we've realised as well through this year, a lot of people, and like we was around a lot of friends, and we're fortunate to be around a lot of friends who are sometimes in a further on position for us. Like as we mentioned earlier, the boys at Morley, like Zach and Jack, we've got to know them quite well this year. Yeah. And it's like them being like a few years ahead in entrepreneurship obviously helps out with like, not as a mentor, but as a friend who can just kind of guide you. And also we see it ourselves, like, well, we pride ourselves in not being stupid, like we're very proficient in working out if something's not working, etc. If you're spending too much money, you're going to end up going broke. We saw it with a lot of people in a similar industry to us like this in last year. They was all up flexing online, a lot of cash or whatever, and then this year things have taken a massive dip because they wasn't running the actual business. Like if you're running like a personal brand kind of thing, it's going to dry up eventually if your offer's not good, if you haven't got anything like behind to back it. So we just saw that a lot, and then it's like about moving smart with your money. I think for going forward, once you get a lot of cash in, it's fun. Like you do sort of enjoy life a bit, and like you start, I don't know, doing things at a higher level and becoming accustomed to this kind of thing. But we always take it back down to like the raw. Like some days we'll just go and have like beans on toast for like 3 days or something. Like if we were like just be like, oh no, we're back in the trenches. Like no, oh we haven't got dinner tonight. That's fine. Like we'll just have like cook up some toasties or something. Like so we know because of where we like started back in like when we was in the shed, and we just had like a cup of coffee, some pot noodles. And we'd just be in there for like a week straight, just like going at it for the whole time. So like we do remember where we come from. Yeah. I like to say like my dad and people like that always like to remind like be humble. Like rainy days do come. Yeah.
Yeah, but on the spin-off of that as well is you actually have to spend in order to like elevate. Yeah. For example, like the first bit of cash we made, we went to Dubai. Whilst we was in Dubai, one of our models blew up as well, and we've met like 4 people in Dubai that we're now like best friends with. Yeah. And we've made money with, had connections. So you do got to spend to make more. Like scared money never made any money, so you can't just like hold on to what you have and be afraid to like go new places. Like as soon as I got back from Dubai, I booked a month in Prague. I just fucked off and went there. Whilst I was in Prague, all of our banks got frozen and like things went a bit fucked, and I had to come back home, and then we just made more money and then moved to Manchester. So like there's always ups and downs, but if you can bounce back from it, then you're good. Like everyone can have like one good win. I know so many people that have made like 100k with one model, but like they're nowhere now. Whereas we've made like 100k with like 4 different models, and we've got like very good consistent models as well that are around like 30, 40, 50k a month. So like people can say like, oh, you can get lucky once, but we've done it like time and time again. So I'm not afraid of ever going broke or anything, because I'll just do it again.
Yeah, I think that's what actually differentiates like our agency, right? So we run Heat Agency here in Manchester, and essentially the difference with us is like we genuinely get the results, and we're still getting the results to this day. Like we can go back and like pull up live results now, and we'll show you like if we do a little pause, like we're still genuinely skipping these results today, where some people who like essentially you have like different traffic sources which come into accounts. Some people are proficient in one, but they haven't got the fluidity to, when that dies off, adapt quickly and start moving again with the time. So like the models we now make, like I say, multi 6 figures a month with now, aren't the same roster of models we had that like 2, 3, 4, 5 months ago. Like things have completely changed. And so like we've been able to adapt and then just re-elevate again. So it's about that. Some people are too rigid in their ways, and like we're always about just adapting, then just take massive action and just run with it.
Just moving with the times, isn't it?
Yeah.
So would you say that that's one of the main things that you think differentiates you guys and the results that you get from other people who are running OFM agencies, is just that kind of action-based approach of just always taking action and trying to adapt quickly?
I think one thing's like, because for the 2 things to actually be successful, you need like a lot of action, but you need like smart action as well, because a lot of action doing the wrong thing, you're never going to get anywhere. Doing like a heavy action with smart action, like I say, the adaptations, like making small little tweaks and then running with it, see how it works quickly, like failing quite fast, okay, that didn't work, go with this route. So that's why even like with the social media strategies we employ with the models now, they're able to so quickly blow up. We've got some sort of secret sauce here, like that we know, which is able to differentiate, which is why we're able to achieve the results, and therefore run with it, which a lot of people struggle to do. I mean, so that's why a lot of people, even now in the position we're in, people come to us obviously for help and things, and like there's enough money to go around for everyone, especially in this industry. I actually don't know the figures off the top of my head, but I know that OnlyFans turn over some serious cash per year.
I can imagine.
Some serious cash even on their percentage. So like with the amount that's going around, other people are in like their own individual position as well, and some people just need that little bit of help, like the guidance, and that's where me and Tom can come in as well, and sometimes help these people. Like you say, we've helped people go from like $0 to $4,000 in their first day. People who like have had one phone call with us, they're like, oh yeah, that thing you said about the other day, yeah, but I just done 20,000 my first month, and we're like, mad, bro. And then it's like from there, people are just building building off from there. And it's just super sick to see because there's so much money in this industry. So yeah, it's amazing. So we're touching on the point of longevity in regards to OnlyFans and this kind of thing. I think OnlyFans, even up to this date now, has stood like a small test of time. This thing's been operating like 10 years or something around this time. And the opportunity that it presents at the moment, I think for a lot of people, like managers, models, needs to be taken advantage of, really.
Yeah.
Like the opportunity, like we've explained, like small amounts of numbers on how fast people can scale. One, so for managers, and two, for girls, how fast their lives can turn around. If a girl goes from making, I don't know, a lot of who have come to us before, we've had girls come to us making $70 a month. Within 2 months, the next month was 5K, the month after that's 30K. For a girl making like, based on how splits work, you're usually taking around between 50-60% as a management fee, because you pretty much handle everything, like I say, the sales teams, the marketing teams, planning everything and putting it all together. With this,
it's not hard to scale up a model, but on top of that as well, I think it is a lot harder now than it used to be. So at the moment, there's a big drop off.
Yeah.
All the TikTok models have died. They're all panicking. All the Germans have lost their heads. So all the Germans, they just...
What was with the Germans before?
All the Germans are like famous for having these big TikTok girls where they have like big fake like nurse rooms, and they invest like 20k into like a big set where they can record TikToks, and they used to print, they used to make money, but TikTok died and they've all just lost their heads, moved back home with their mums, etc.
So like traffic sources die out, and this is the thing that you said about longevity.
Yeah.
So where things obviously keep dying out, the longevity is always having that adaptation. I think for us on top, we're even in contact now with like where our agency is so big and like quite renowned, with us being able to network so well on the way up. Like we've always done it through various things, but I'll touch on that topic before I deviate too much again. With longevity, so obviously you can understand the come up of AI and how AI models are becoming a thing, AI chatbots and this kind of thing. So we're being approached now by like industry leaders for that kind of industry. And so we're always just open to looking at new opportunity, never shying away. So I've spoke to this guy a few times and like trying to see how we can collaborate and make it worthwhile. So maybe it's not something that's really hitting it off now, but if my fingers in that pie for when it starts kicking off and I've got the connection there, me and him are going to be able to pivot and just sort of jump on something as well.
Yeah, definitely. I was going to say in terms of like, in case something, say like whatever niche is going on dies out, are you guys already then, you've got something ready for when that dies out?
Yeah, of course. You can't have all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah,
and like the TikTok thing, everyone's died off. Whereas ourselves, we're like experts in Reddit, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. It doesn't matter, like dating apps. We're killing everything. So it doesn't matter if TikTok goes, like we're still doing best months ever.
Yeah.
Whereas all these other guys, all these other guys just sold their watches.
Yeah.
I just got a new one. Like,
do
you know what I mean?
Yeah, when you put it into perspective that way, like a lot of people get lazy and complacent with money as well. We never have been. We've always got to like a level, like, oh yeah, that's cool. But we've always had like a bigger goal. And then when we start hitting them bigger goals, we're like, oh shit, but that bigger goal over there, that's actually even possible as well.
Yeah.
Like
everything's possible.
Goals of like £1 million months and things, people like can't comprehend. Even like 6-figure months. It's like yearly. That's like multiple yearly salaries for most people in the UK.
Yeah.
It's like people can't comprehend it, but we had the belief that one day we're actually going to achieve that, and then we just worked tirelessly until we got it.
How come everything's in dollars? This was something that I just wanted to ask you because I saw it on the dashboard. But how come everything's in dollars?
Just OnlyFans always is.
Is that just how it works? You've got to exchange everything to the pound.
It just hits your bank account in pounds.
Yeah. So it just gets exchange rated over.
Right.
And then just work it out from there in UK pounds.
Yeah. That was just something that I was interested in because I saw it and I was like, that's in dollars.
Yeah, it's annoying. Yeah. It's annoying when you're like.
How many people would you say for one model? I know that you guys said that you have like sales teams, marketing teams. How many people do you employ like per model?
It all depends on the volume of the account. So for example, we might have a team of 3 chatters that work like around the clock, so 8-hour shifts each. With smaller accounts, they might be able to handle like 3 at a time, 3 models. However, on one of our biggest models accounts, we've actually got like 12 assistants just for her page.
Wow.
So at all times right now, there's 3 people replying to messages, working on their account, navigating, keeping the quality, making sure everything's smooth, because that's what's needed to run like a 100k account.
Yeah. I was going to say, so in terms of like the teams of people then, what does an OF, like what does the team consist of?
Okay, so simply we'll have the social media team, we have like a main social media manager, posters across all the platforms. The manager will sort the strategies and just relay that onto the posters. And then we have like account managers for OF, chat managers, and then chatters. Cool. So for her, she's got a team of 9 chatters, 3 chat managers, and then account manager, social media manager, posters, everything. So it is quite a lot, and it's
Yeah.
a lot to navigate. That's why my phone.
I was going to say, how do you go about like managing all these employees, like finding the right people to do it? Because I'm guessing if you're hiring people online, it might not be it's not like someone's coming in for an interview and you get to get a sense of like what they can do. Do you trust them?
Yeah, it's hard because say I was running a clothing line, I'll be able to just chuck a job ad on Indeed, have a bunch of people with experience message me. No one really has experience in the kind of stuff that I want to do because it's all black hat marketing. You're not allowed to promote OnlyFans on Instagram or TikTok. You have to do it sneakily. So no one actually has experience, otherwise they would have just done an agency themselves. You have to like spoon feed all the information, train them from the ground up. Like the sales team we have now, it's taken us like 6-8 months to get it where it is today, and that's why a lot of people kind of hire chatting agencies. So I also offer a chatting agency where we take 20% of the net to run the account for them, because it's just such a headache hiring people overseas, training them, vetting them, watching them 24/7, when you can just pay me 20%, I'll handle all of the stress for you. You just get to work on social media stress. So there's a lot that goes into it. It's not just as glamorous as it seems.
I'm guessing you guys have more like outgoings than people realise then. If you've got to have, because like I don't think people understand how many people, obviously you just said 9 people just for the chatting. Like,
And is all the costs like that coming off your revenue, or is it coming off the total revenue of the model and you? Or
so it depends the deal we've struck with the model. Right. It can change because a lot of the deals are individual, like percentage splits, etc., and costs associated with the count based on one, how much time, attention, effort we need to put in. Like it's all super individual. So like, the model might already be making 10-15k a month, and if we jump on, we're essentially going to run the chatting and optimize a few of her things, and she's going to scale up quick. We can take a lesser percentage in that instance. Whereas if you're starting a model from the ground up, you have to put so much more groundwork in to get them up to that point. So there's obviously more costs and things that go into that, but that's why you can negotiate.
Some of them might be like rev split, some might be a profit split. So then we'll just bill it off the account, like we said, and just split whatever's left. But I won't say exactly what our expenses are every month, but it's like multi 5 figures. So the reason why we like do so much and we're always working is because like we have to. Otherwise, I'll just be however much down every month.
How do you guys have an accountant who deals with all this for you? How do they like kind of do they have experience doing kind of like online businesses and stuff before? Because I imagine if you take all this to an accountant, they probably haven't dealt with a business like this before.
No, some accountants actually have.
Right.
Obviously, we've got us in the UK, but there's a few others around in the UK who do similar things. Plus, models, if they don't have an agency, will deal directly with an accountant anyway. So our accountant was dealing with models already before, so it wasn't unfamiliar to the industry. So it's easy for him to just navigate through.
Yeah.
Nice. So in terms of like obviously keeping it going, like back to kind of around longevity, do you boys think that you're going to stick with the OFM for as long as possible, or are you going to move on to kind of other ventures around that? I don't know if you guys have got other things going on behind the scenes as well.
But a lot of people say that OnlyFans is going to die soon, this and that. I want to ask you one question. Do you think that all the lonely like uncles out there that can't get laid, can't get anything, do you think they're going to suddenly start just getting pussy out of nowhere? Do you think that? I'm asking that. Do you think that they'll suddenly just wake up tomorrow and they've just got a leng one next to them?
Yeah, that's fair enough.
They won't. So I see OnlyFans going on for a while. That being said, it is getting a lot harder now. That's why having like experts like me and Mason, obviously we help people out as well. So people that come to us and they might make 30k in their first month, they wouldn't have been able to do that alone. But back in the day, like 2 years ago, you could just get your model to post something on TikTok and it blows up because TikTok was popping in COVID. You can just make cash out of nowhere. I wish I was in OFM back then.
Would have cleaned up. But even like going back to longevity, so another thing that me and Tom actually do, like I said, we've touched on it a couple of times, but we actually teach people on how to do this as well. And like we do offer different sort of levels of teaching, whether it's like direct 1 to 2 mentorship with us, and then with that we allowed to get the most amount of time out of us, all the direct strategies, and like every time we get on calls or whatever, it's a direct optimization of your current position. And even so, like with some of the mentorships, we've got OFM experience for over a year, plus the numbers that we prove to back it, like we've been able to achieve that in such a short time. So obviously it's clear to know that we know what we're doing. Secondly, I've got a year worth of business experience as well that I'm transferring to people at the same time. So like even outside of just the OFM niche, we've got so much like this array of knowledge outside of it, how to deal with like networking, how to deal with like different scenarios that might come up in life. So we're helping people in that aspect as well. And also like some of the members in our private group, like we've got people who come in and they might not be so proficient at this certain traffic source or this certain chatting style. They speak with the group, we do live calls, and then all of a sudden their agencies are now optimized. They're doing, their revenue numbers have gone up 2-3x. Like people that, like even people who come to us, they're joining our group. They're like, hi, welcome to the group and introduce yourself. It's like, yeah, what's up guys? I'm doing to 40-50k a month with 2 models at the moment. Like, my main traffic source is Reddit, and then everyone else who's in the chat doing Reddit, and maybe they're not doing 40-50k a month, they can go and network with this guy now.
Yeah.
So we provide that like for everybody in here in the chat as well. So we're doing like the live calls and things to make sure everybody's up to date with all the current strategies. It's like I said about traffic sources dying out. A lot of these groups, they get flung to one side, and everyone's in there and they're just letting anybody in as well. Like we don't really just let anybody in. If someone's,
do you guys have a process to get into these groups?
Yeah, so like even to get in, more times we're taking a call with the person, and it's like if they're not meeting certain criteria of wanting to join our group, like some people come in, if they're worried about the price of our group or something to begin with, and they're like very hesitant or this and that, it kind of is already showing to us their character. And if their character's we're a group of young hustlers, you have to put a lot of work in. If you haven't got the character for like the discipline to like last in this game, even if you're 1 month and you're like, oh, but I'm not seeing any results, but they're not putting any work in. It's a bad reflection on us as well for them being in the group.
Definitely.
So for that, so what we do focus on at the same time as well now, which we didn't before, is building up a bit more of a personal brand. Like one, obviously for networking, 2, like business opportunities come around from that as well. So that's where we're kind of ensuring our longevity as well in certain games. 1, in the OnlyFans thing where we're doubling down, but 2, if we are to make a pivot of any industry,
it's all transferable, isn't it?
We're going to have the connections and things to sort of bounce around if needs be.
Yeah, that sounds good, man. Yeah, I was going to say, everything you boys are doing in terms of the business side of things, I feel like it can be applied to a lot of things as well, doesn't it? Definitely in the future.
100%, bro. Blowing up social medias, managing teams, hiring, firing, selling, everything is transferable. That's why I think it's like the best side hustle like of 2023/2024, because 1, you're going to make cash and you're going to learn a shit ton. So it's just super good.
So you guys originally lived down south. What was the reasoning behind moving to Manny? Is it?
We got back from Prague, had a weekend in Manny just to like see what it was saying. Heard it's like a good place to live. Saw other people like do similar stuff, like make money online, go up to Manny, live in the towers. So I was like, fuck it, like we'll just see what it's like. Liked the area. We didn't even check the apartment out or anything. Didn't get a booking, and then we just moved in. Just spent like a week trying to find an apartment that would take like 2 like 20-year-olds fucking.
Yeah, I was
that only just started making money like to go up to Manchester.
Yeah.
So I'm actually going to touch on a super funny story about the move to Manchester, right?
Yeah.
So like I said, so we started the year, we started making some cash, January, February time, stacking and whatever. Spent the last bit of cash went to Dubai for this like meetup thing.
Yeah.
Actually was there where we're just using our positioning again to get around other high-end like people, like online money guys, prove yourself, whatever. Start building out the network, whatever. Again, that helped us out, 1, because then we got to meet friends and actually learn some knowledge off them in the industry. And then we got back, Tom went to Prague straight away, I met him out there like a week later. It was actually super shit, like Tom like just did it on a whim, so booked like some shitty little flat ground floor. I went and met him, I was staying on the sofa for like a week, 2 weeks, and we were just like, bro, what the fuck is this? And then the banks got locked, and then anyway, we came back for a little while, and then like you say, we went to Manchester, tried that out. His parents were away, so he was in his house for a little while. Like a couple of weeks. So we had a couple of weeks to like sort of sort everything back out and get back on our feet again like quickly. So we're working. We're like, yo bro, like we need to get out of here, like we need to do our own thing. And like now we've got like a little bit of money that's been stacked away, like I say, from the scale up from when we started, January, February. Now we're probably pushing into like February, March times. Yeah. Like we've been able to cash out a lot of the money that we've been made now. It's like where things have scaled up. We're sitting like a little bit more comfortably, but so we start shopping around for apartments. We're like, look, we've got the cash to get an apartment now, like physically if we need to, we can just pay some money up front even. So we're like, yeah, let's do it. Shopping around, going to different estate agents, trying to talk to them, like, yeah, they're like, okay, right, can you provide us your books or whatever? And we're like, bro, like, we're doing business like 3 months, like how the fuck are we pulling this off? Anyway, the guy sent through like this apartment, and he said, and he's gone back and forth a little bit. I think the first thing, he's like, all right, so I need your bank statements. We're like, all right, cool, yeah, boom, send over the bank statements. The guy looked at him and was like, obviously we've had like a few banks each, but like we've sent him like one of them that just looks the cleanest or whatever, like it hasn't just got random transactions coming in and out.
Yeah.
So I've submitted one of them, he submitted one. And he went, yeah, well, sorry, sir, you've only got £800 in your balance in this account. How the fuck are you going to afford this flat? And me and Tom just looked at each other, we're like, all right, that one didn't work, send to the bank statements. So Tom's like, you know what? Rescheme. So like we're there trying to figure out what we can send next. We're like, all right, we sent him the 2 models that we was managing at the moment. They have super big social media profiles. We're like, look, we're a social media agency. We manage these massive models. We're turning cash. And he's like, yeah, I'm not going to lie, mate. It's not going to cut it. And we're sitting there thinking like, all right, what do we do next? And obviously this is where I say like we've started making a bit of money. So we was able to cash out. And I don't think I've missed any step of this. But then it was at that point, we sent him like OnlyFans cash outs. And so where one of our models was turning silly cash, we've got like in the space of a couple weeks, there's just 20k getting cashed out like consistently at this. We sent him that, was like, look bro, like we turned some cash with like some of these models in the business we're running. He was like, all right, let me speak to the landlord. So we've literally sent them the OnlyFans cash out. We've sent them like big racks in the pending, like multi 5 figs in the pending, which is like waiting to be cashed out.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, let me check. So anyway, he's gone back. We get a message from him like a week later. He's like, yeah, like if you can get a guarantor and then like put this much down, like we're going to approve it. Like they're just going to get it over the line.
Yeah.
So we just looked at each other and was like, you know what, we just got to fucking do it. We cashed out a bit more money, put the deposit down. And do you know what the funny thing was as well? All of this was just on a WhatsApp chat. We hadn't been to Manchester again to view the apartment. We just saw like an apartment super high up. He like, when he's showing it around, he pans over to the view. And obviously because we're very high up, we've got a sick view of Manny. So he panned over to the view and me and T just looked at each other like, you know, we're getting this one in the bag.
So you just move in then?
Then we was like, all right, we'll pay for it here now. Like as soon as he like started confirming stuff, signed the papers, boom, sent the cash. And then like a month later, I think we got to move-in day. And that's when we first moved into Manny, and it was just like things changed for the better then, because it's like you can just go in there, you lock in your own space.
Yeah.
And I think even between them,
it's a great city as well. It's like the capital of the north.
Yeah. And even it's like a super good hub for entrepreneurs as well. Like there's a lot of fake entrepreneurs here as well at the same time, but you can kind of meet them up. There's actually some super sick entrepreneurs here as well, so you get to meet. So I think that's amazing. I think, like I say, from when we started getting cash as well, even like the move up here, everything's been done very fast. And like even like how our friends move as well, because obviously friends we've like made in the space through OFM. And the lifestyle that comes with it, you're traveling around a lot, because even like our friends, all different countries. So it's like someone, we had like a little regime like at the earlier start of the year when everyone's got a bit of cash there. If someone sent like a flag of a country to the group chat, just like, oh bro, really, not really? And he's like, yeah, Thursday meet up here, and it'll just be like a flag in Romania or some shit. Everyone's got to be there, and they'll text us out on like a Wednesday, and it'll be like, come to here Thursday. It's like fuck. And then obviously we're still just building our network and this stuff. We're like, oh, no, I don't want to seem unserious, so we're going to shoot out there, do a couple of days of fucking around, build the connection with them, because everyone's like valuable. Like he might be proficient in one traffic source or doing this element of business or whatever, and I want to get like time in with them, so obviously that will just build a relationship. So like now later down the line, some of the times we position ourselves through these holidays or whatever it is, it's always with an end goal of like better in our position in some way or whatever. So it's always worked out as well. So now, like when you do a full circle more down the line, like these people are actually just our friends now. Yeah. So it's actually super sick with some of the places we've been and some of the adventures we've been on.
Yeah, sounds good.
Couple of days.
Can you imagine yourself staying in Manny for a while? Then do you rate it, or is like getting out of the UK a possibility?
Yeah, I want to go to Dubai.
Yeah,
we've already got like Dubai residencies, all that sorted. I'm just waiting really, because most of our models are in Manny, so it's nice to be close. Just like hands on the business. But eventually I'll go to Dubai again. We're going to go in a few weeks for New Year's Eve.
Cool.
But long term, not just yet. But I will soon.
Yeah, I was going to say, in terms of like the models, that's one thing that I wanted to ask you guys about. Are all your models like UK based, or do you have models, I don't know, like other countries?
Yeah, we've got like
Europe, America, whatever.
Americans, mainly UK though.
Mainly UK.
Yeah, mainly UK. Because one, for us, it's the way we've been able to get models. It's one like through proven results. So like if we have one model that comes onto our team, and obviously if she puts the work in and we put the work in, the results flow. And then once we're able to prove that oftentimes they're in the industry, so they've got friends or whatever, they can refer to us to come and also do a similar thing. So they're mainly UK girls who are just like friends with each other.
Yeah, cool.
So it actually works out super well. Like I say, we've got models here, there, and everywhere too. Obviously, you've got to manage them, but at the same time, like more models doesn't always equal more money as well.
Yeah, that's something else I wanted to touch on in terms of the scale of models. Like, how do you think there's like a perfect number, or are you boys wanting to rather have less, like I guess, high earners or more spread out, kind of in the middle grounds?
My dream would just have like 5 to 10 high earners that are just cooperative work. And just life's more simple. Even that's hectic. Like having a sales team for that would be hectic. But we'd get it done. But like we've had it before. We just had like 25 girls, and we're just like, well, why do we even have these girls?
Yeah,
like,
and then trying to like scale them all up, trying to manage and keep on top of them. That one didn't do that amount of work, and it's like, oh, is it even worth my time? Yeah.
It's the question everyone asks, like, oh, how many models do you have? Like thinking that equals like how big the agency is. But there's an agency that just had like one model that just does like $1 million a month. Is that better than an agency that does 100k a month that has like 100 models. Like,
Yeah.
I'd rather have one.
Way less headache.
Yeah,
really.
innit? I mean,
Yeah.
I guess it's just
It's
I guess
numbers.
just because it's models doesn't mean that it's different to any
No.
other business. Like if you had a business and you were managing like software or something for a ton of different clients, you can't really grow and get results if you're managing that many people.
Yeah.
So
It's too difficult.
yeah.
And then like also you got personal life as well sometimes.
Yeah,
like,
innit?
if you, like to be fair, we're on our phones. Like honestly, from the moment you wake up, you catch up, and then you're just on it, just sorting
Yeah.
shit out, doing something somewhere. So it's pretty good the fact that like we can live and work like mobile, like off our phones and laptops. So
Yeah.
we can always just set up and just sort bits out. But then you do get to the other side of it where like sometimes you're sacrificing certain commitments that you want to go and do because busy is super important, and like there's some crucial things that come on the line where like obviously to grow you're gonna have to sacrifice something. Is you kind of got to make that choice of what you do.
Yeah. Do you ever think that you guys would be able to scale the agency to a point where you really don't have that much involvement in it and you can just have it all managed and systemize it all? Or do you think you guys, you know, the secret sauce that you guys have will always be needed to churn the amount of numbers that you were doing right now?
You probably can take a step back eventually, but at the moment, like, I don't really think it's needed for where we are right now. I like being hands-on, and on top of that, it's like trust as well. Like finding someone that you can give that responsibility, not to fuck you over. It's very, very hard to come by.
Yeah, I think there's two things, because one, you can automate the process and systems inside the business. So for example, like our chatting, like we have the sales team on, they're running the accounts now, like that's all good, and then we've got managers above them. So what another thing we pride ourselves in was building the systems and teams, which enabled us to buy some of the amount of time back. That now we can still focus on higher ROI tasks, because you can automate them process and they're done, but you can't really automate the scaling. Like you have to be on top of the quality control of scaling your agency or yourself. Like, so that's where you've kind of never going to be able to fully take that step back, because it's going to be hard for somebody to have the drive to want to do all them things needed to scale. Especially if they're on like salary or like a lesser percentage. That there's green-eyed and people in the UK, like, I don't know, it's hard to come by these people who are super loyal and just want to work with the same goal and vision as you.
Yeah.
About getting green-eyed and wanting to do you over or whatever.
Yeah, interesting. Where's the best place that you guys have visited while you've been traveling recently?
I like Dubai the most.
Yeah.
Do you think you'd be able to handle the heat, bro, all year round? We ain't built for this.
We went in August. It was like 42.
Fuck.
It's not everything's aircon. You're just in and out of the Uber.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
chill guy.
fair.
Even like bus stops, aircons and shit.
Just
Like,
sit.
It's mad.
Yeah.
It is
Like, it's
mad.
not busy. You don't have like all the English people that will just go over in December for like yearly holidays.
Yeah.
It's just literally just businessmen there. Sit down in the lobby. It's just shakes and shit.
Yeah,
Just chopping it up.
A few uncles with day dates on and stuff, just trying to hit a quick scam.
Yeah.
So you like Dubai? What about you?
Yeah, I think like Dubai realistically, but I prefer at the moment, obviously for where we are, more like a holiday, because it's fun because you go out there, you can get the cars and things, you meet up with the boys, you go expensive dinners, and you live that high life. And then obviously you come back to Man and you get a little bit more of the reality, that cold weather.
Yeah,
grinding season.
Get off the plane, you see the ice on the
Like,
stairs.
no. But yeah, I think it's got to be Dubai. Out there, everywhere else we've been.
Never been into like the party like kind of thing of like going Ibiza or going Tenerife or wherever these people go. I've never really been into that. I don't know why. I just like being more like
who you're around, like the mastermind kind of like with where we are and what we do. Like them kind of people, a lot of them are very unambitious. Like, and so if you're rubbing off on them too much with like certain things, you're only gonna sort of bring yourself down on a
not
spiral.
too serious though. Like I don't mind going Bucharest for a day, gambling 24 hours or something.
Yeah, like a few have just been done on a whim. Like, for example, Bucharest is like in Romania. Obviously, some people gas up, but like when you go there, it's actually like a super rundown city.
Is it?
It's such a shithole. Like,
Yeah, I think the only thing that I've seen there is like the big town hall. That looks pretty spectacular.
Like all these places, like some people, like when we went to Prague, and I think it's about your personal experience as well. So when we went to Prague, I've had a pretty shit experience in Prague, I'm not going to lie. And someone would be like, oh no, my dad went there on a holiday and he said it was the best thing ever. Like, yeah, he went on a stag do in like 2018 or something. Yeah. I didn't quite have the same experience. So I think your personal experience will be like how well you can really assess a place as well. So I think like for Dubai, like not many people go there and have bad experiences as such.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And what's next for you guys? Have you got any like big goals, like revenue goals or just lifestyle goals that you want to hit, like short, medium term?
I want to get to $500,000 a month with the agency. And I also want to be at least a millionaire by next year, like liquid.
Mad. Yeah, I know you talked about retiring your parents as well. That's kind of like a big one that everyone says. They want to retire my parents.
Yeah,
but
that'll just come with it.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah, I think definitely like the agency $500,000 a month. And I think probably not going to be far off that, doing it like in a few months.
Yeah.
And then also alongside that, just scaling some other business on the back end, like keeping the feelers out there that we can pivot. Another thing will be like getting into the crypto game as well. Like I'm not super crypto proficient, but then again, if you're like building our network, I know of people who are.
Yeah.
So like, lean on them a little bit and like, yo, I need that 20-30x with the liquid I got here to try and get to that millionaire status kind of thing. So yeah, definitely ticking them all off the list.
That's one of the things that actually got me in business in the first place was crypto. Because in the last bull run, I was working at Pizza Hut, delivering pizzas, getting like £200-300 a week, and I just put everything onto like these coins because my friend gave me a few tips. Ran it up to like 30-40k on crypto.
Really?
Mad.
That's not bad.
And then ran it all the way back down. But then I was sitting there and I was like, bro, like, I remember one time I jumped on the flight, and when I jumped off the flight, I checked my portfolio and I was up like 5k. I'm like, what the fuck? So I realized like there's actually infinite money out there.
Yeah.
If I can just make like 5k in a couple hours whilst on a plane, obviously you didn't make it, I didn't cash it out. But if there's that out there, like I'm not just gonna go and get a job for like 2k a month for the rest of my life. Like, I can't do that now. So I literally, even though I lost all the bread, it taught me one lesson. So this bull run, I'm gonna. And it just gave me no choice.
We'll believe it.
Yeah. Oh, you can't say.
No, bro.
Oh, probably not YouTube.
No, I swear.
Yeah. Maybe we might need a Rumble channel as well.
Yeah, I'll leave it
do very well.
Yeah, it's
Do very well.
And I think like even going back, so we both had like a little toe dip into crypto back in the day. So like even like a year ago, for like a year and 6 months ago, I was in the crypto game as well. I remember I borrowed some money off my granddad, and I'm like, I'm gonna go buy a car with this as well. And I was gonna go buy a sick car, like, cause I used to love my cars as well.
Yeah.
And I was gonna go get a BMW, like thinking whatever. And I had my crypto there, and I was like, if my crypto just gets to there, I'll cash it out, pay him off, and I've got this car. Anyway, so instead of buying the car, I went speaking to him, and it's like, bro, could you really buy a car? Or you can put it into crypto now, free exit, pay him off, and then just get a better car. So I'm like, yeah, this is cool, whatever. So I feel like sounded so Garrow at the time. So I've put like most of this piece into crypto. I've got my own little portfolio, and I've got another little portfolio, and I'm just like kind of moving up into the 5-figure world, like net worth, and I'm like, yeah, this is all cool and stuff. Anyway, like a month goes past, and I haven't really checked it, and things are like down a little bit, but they're not too bad. Anyway, like another month goes past, and I like go to log into my profiles or whatever, and I've opened one of them up, and I've just seen like every coin that I had liquidated, and then the BTC just gone. So I got fished badly. So I would actually end up like losing it all as well, and then I've gone from like a nice up to all the way down as well. So we had like a very similar story. Of how
What did your granddad say about it?
Nah, because I
doesn't know.
No, so eventually obviously I just ran it back and it just paid
Yeah.
him off, so
Yeah.
it wasn't really too bad, but it just took a little longer than I had expected. I thought I was going to have the cash by like a month or two.
I feel like everyone has like for you boys it was crypto, but I feel like everyone has that first thing, that first venture that they go after, and they get a little result, and it makes them realize like, holy shit, you can make money like this. And even if you lose it, you get the mindset shift. Like you saying, if I can make 5k while I'm on the plane, I'm never going to work a job for 2k a month. And even if you lose a bit of money, you get that mindset shift from it, which ultimately is the most important thing.
Yeah, I think that's something we've spoken about a lot. Like the mindset cut out for entrepreneurship is different. Like the hardships we've gone, like the ups and downs, the roller coaster that we experience, it's like on a different level. Like it's definitely not made for the weak, because you've got to be putting in so much work. Like there's all these big different problems that come up, like personal, business, like financial, emotional, like all these kind of things. And no matter what, you have to just carry on with your daily tasks and like be that disciplined person. And for that's really not everybody. Everyone likes the idea of like, because again, social media is a facade. Like you'll see our social medias there, they look amazing, but like we've explained here, like the back end of what actually goes into it, no one sees that, 'cause it's not super pretty. Like for example, like last night I'm sitting there doing bits of work or whatever, some things come up and I'm there till like 2-3 a.m. just working, like boxing off different tasks, sorting out them little bits, like people aren't showing up for shoots, like kind of trying to reorganize things, but people won't see that. Like they do see me like go to Dubai and see that on my story or something like that. Oh my god, his lifestyle's so sick to do, but they don't see like the work that me and him have put in to get to this level. Yeah. Like, and even at the start, like say back in like shed days, like there was really 22-hour days, really 22-hour days getting put in to like try and make like have a little sleep, and you get me just keep rotating it. But the heavy work's like the main thing that. Yeah. Really
sick. You boys are smashing it, bro. Yeah. Smashing it 21 and smashing it. We'll run it back in like a year. The agency will be at the agency will be at fucking 750. Yeah. Sick. Cheers for coming down, boys. Hey, smashed it. I appreciate you, my guys. Charlie, bro. Nice one, boys.